Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 9, episode 5, and today we've just passed Christmas, it's Boxing Day and we've got our own little treat. We're playing at home to Bristol City, looking to cement our place in the automatic promotion places. With exactly half the season gone, we're still hanging on in there. We're miles behind Swansea, who are running away with the title, despite their 6 defeats already. But we're hanging on in second place as the league really tightens up near the top, with us and Bristol City in 9th place, separated by just 7 points. It's going to be very close, it's going to be a tense day. We've already mentioned our struggles at home this season, but hopefully today we'll be able to do a job and put one over on one of our rivals. They're managed by Middlesbrough legend Stuart Parnaby, so that's going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure how long he's been there. He only joined this year after a brief managerial stint at Burton. He doesn't look like the greatest coach, but certainly has the mental stats that suggest a good manager. But hopefully he won't have all of the answers to our formation and tactic today, and we'll be able to get over the line with a victory. So if we go to the schedule to see what's been happening, we've played 7 league matches since the last one on camera against Fulham. They were against Sunderland away from home, where we drew 2-2 with Broja and Duncan getting a goal apiece. We won 3-2 at home to Ipswich. Broja, Desart and Gerrard with the goals in that one. John Gerrard becoming a crucial player off the bench for us, as he was at home to Derby. We won 1-0 with a 93rd minute goal from him. I'm not sure how many he's got now. 4 in 12 sub appearances. He's certainly starting to become someone we can rely on. After that Derby game, we went away to Sheffield United. Unfortunately, we lost on that occasion. A late goal from John Terry, not the John Terry, but another young midfielder who's a regen that came through at Fleetwood. Unfortunately, in that one, we did go down, but Armando Broja got another goal to add to his tally. We won 1-0 at home to Rotherham. Adam Lewis, the star player, with one in that one. He missed a penalty, but that goal was actually putting in the rebound. We lost 2-1 away at Preston. We conceded a 94th minute goal in that one to go down there, and then we drew 0-0 at home to Cardiff, the game we were thinking about showing you on camera, so I'm pretty glad we didn't do that and stuck it out one more for Bristol City. It's the start of a tough run of 5 games in 2 weeks for us. We've got Bristol City and Hull in the space of just 2 days, followed by Bolton in the FA Cup. They're down in League 2 now, I think, so that's one we should expect to be winning, although they're flying high at the top of the division. And then Bradford in midweek before Millwall the weekend after, making it a very difficult spell for us as we go into the January window. So hopefully we'll have some news from that. We'd like to bolster our squad with 1 or 2, but obviously we're keeping our finances tight as we look to move into our new stadium next year. Just before we get into the game, there's one more bit of transfer news as well. We mentioned about one young centre-half, Stuart Leach, we were looking to sign. He's coming in from Motherwell for £55,000, but we've also agreed a deal for a second now. Ross Taylor from Hibernian, a 19-year-old central defender, £85,000 on this occasion. He looks a really good young pro. The scout summary's 95, and just look at his stats. He looks really good for a kid. He's made an appearance in the Europa League and the Iron Brew Cup this year, and there's plenty of positives from him joining, aside from his magnificent potential. So we'll see what those two are like when they join the club before the next episode. We've got a sell-on clause for Jacob Wakeling that's available, £30,000 for that. It's not a huge amount, but it adds a little bit to the tally, and that's all we're looking to do as we pay off this stadium. So plenty of positives. The finances are still good. We're still in a good position in the league, and we've got a decent squad, although we have picked up a couple of injuries. Eamon McCabe out for 2 to 4 weeks. McGeever's been out recently, as has Colin Lahan. He's about to come back from his fractured leg. He might get on the bench for the Bolton game. Let's get into this one though. See if we're favourites against Bristol City. Only just, but they've won 3 in a row. This could be a really long day at the office for us. Let's go and look at our 11 for this game. Obviously we've got to think about another game in 2 days' time, but we haven't got enough of a squad to rotate, and 1 or 2 of the positions we would have considered, we haven't got extra players available. So due to the long-term injury for Lahan and a couple of other little knocks we've had in midfield, we have promoted Fibrosima to the first team again. He's a really good pro and he's coming on well. 1.5 star ability now, still 5-star potential. He really looks like he's going to be something special too. But for today's lineup, it's pretty much as you were. Alex Bass in goal, Brown, Chalobah and Williams the back 3, Nico Williams right wing back, Adam Lewis over on the left, Mapley and Desart are the 2-man midfield, with Ian McCann behind Broja and Duncan, the goal scoring machines up front. Duncan's been out for most of the time between episodes. He's had a couple of little knocks and has been relegated to largely sub appearances, which is why he hasn't scored too many goals, but Hall and Gerrard have done okay when they've been called upon in his absence. So let's get into the match and see if we can get a result. We very much need to get a draw at the least, just to try and keep that 7-point gap to Bristol City. But let's get into it and see if we can cement our place near the top. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Bristol City, a formation we see so many times at this level. They've got a couple of familiar names and quite a few regens actually as well. They've got Mayer up front, the Sunderland striker who went to Bordeaux in real life. I can't see Ledger, the player that we tried to sign last year. He was a bit of a handful on the first day of the season. We've got Hayden Coulson over on the left-hand side of the fence. He's a really good young fullback. And then Brownhill and Payne in the middle, two really decent pros. So let's go and talk to the lads. Tell them to get out and prove a point, just as Stuart Dellin, our assistant, recommends, and fingers crossed they'll take that on board and be as motivated as they've said they are. Let's get into the first half and see if we can put on a performance for the fans. The Boxing Day sellout surely, although it looks like there's a few empty seats there, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that one, but it's Bristol City with the early possession. Gorman goes for a long ball forward, the highlight ended but then came back as he put it into the box for Northmour, who heads it straight into the arms of Bass. He rolls out for Reece Williams. The centre half goes long over the top, Bobby Duncan gets on the end of it, beats 1 and 2, goes for the shot, and Evans has to tip it wide. He probably wasn't expecting him to shoot there. I certainly wasn't beforehand. Nico Williams with an in-swinging corner. Brown gets there first, but it's good goalkeeping to smother him. Nico Williams is challenged, as is Brown again, and he's out for a throw on the left-hand side. It's a throw in the right back area. Nico Williams will take it. Giving it straight away. It's a terrible throw in. Long cross into the box from Bristol City. I don't think it was audacious enough to be a shot, but it's straight into the arms of Alex Bass nevertheless. Reece Williams brings it out for Dysart. He goes back to Williams again. Long ball over the top. It's worked a couple of times, but on this occasion it's straight back to Dunn, who finds his keeper Evans. Long ball forward. Mapley misses out. Madger's got the ball and he finds Northmour. Charges past 2 or 3. Goes for the shot that's blocked. Nix is on the second ball though. Adam Lewis has to block the cross. 10 minutes gone, it's an even start to the game, but Bristol City look threatening as Madger hits the crossbar, absolutely thundering header against it from the Brownhill corner on the left, and the second delivery is cleared by Shalabar, with McCann getting it forward to Broja. He comes after halfway. Can we get on the attack now and cause a sucker punch on the counter? Duncan puts it in, but it was offside from the cross, and unfortunately that silly own goal hasn't managed to benefit us due to the offside against Duncan. It's Brownhill with a cross, free header for Dunn. Madger again on the second ball but is cleared, and with a quarter of the game gone, we can consider ourselves lucky to be level. It's Dysart on the left side of the box though. Cleared by Bristol City. Madger on the counter. We look worrying at the back. We've had a pattern of goals conceded. There's not really much to them. We seem to be making a lot of individual errors, but all in different areas of the pitch. It's Payne coming forward in the middle though. Long ball over the top, but it's just too high, and it's gone wide of the post for a goal kick. Here's a throw on the left. Coulson will take it. We highlighted him before the match. Nico Williams has come thundering through the back of Northmour and he concedes a penalty. What a stupid challenge by the wing-back. There's another individual error we've been talking about. Payne puts the penalty away. Very easy stuff from him, and unfortunately we're 1-0 down due to another simple defensive error. Nico Williams with a throw-in. Giving it away again. Awful from the right wing-back. What is he playing at today? Madger puts it over the bar and Nico Williams has been enjoying a bit too much Christmas dinner. Don't forget Bristol City were only promoted last season. They finished second in League One and they're causing us all sorts of problems today. We're really struggling to cope with them. It's a bit of a setback from our first day of the season where we were brilliant down at Ashton Gate, but it just follows the theory that we've really struggled at home against the 4-2-3-1. It's half time then, we're 1-0 down to that penalty. Really terrible defending from Nico Williams and it's cost us a goal and it may well cost us the 3 points today. We're going to tell the lads we expect to see much better in the second half and we'll give them 15 minutes to prove themselves before we go all out for the substitutions. Mapley with the ball back to Shalabar. Mapley into McCann again. He's had a very quiet game but finds Lewis on the left. Miscontrols it, it's out for a throw. This couldn't be going much worse if we tried. It's a corner for Nico Williams though. In swinging delivery, Reece Williams heads it. Behind for a goal kick. Must have hit one of the Torquay players. I thought it was a keeper save but it wasn't to be. Payne with a short free kick for Bristol City. City. Brilliant game of football, what a shot that is. Alex passes equal to it and tips it over the bar, but a wonderful long range effort from the goal scorer. It's Brownhill with the corner, going for an in-swinger. It's caused problems all day so far, but Shalabar heads this one away well. Harper with a switch out to Brownhill again. He's on the left side of the box. The voice is starting to go as we're having an exciting game again. Harper's got the ball in the middle, he finds Payne. Out to Brownhill on the left wing. Cutting inside and they've just gone back. They're in no rush here, they're just keeping possession and keeping us at bay. Just over an hour gone. It's been all Bristol City, to be honest. They've got a throw in now. Payne finds Northmore. He really should have scored that, but as it was, he put it straight at Bass, either side, and it was a goal. We're starting to have problems with the form of McCann. Ricky Ash isn't doing much better when he comes in. I'm starting to think I might have to do that formation change, but when we're up in second place, can I really justify that with the way the lads have been performing? I know we're letting in a few goals, but we're really punching above our weight, and I don't know if it's fair on them to suddenly start changing the formation after a bad run. As it is for this one though, we're going to make a few changes. Ian McCann will be replaced by Ricky Ash. We're going to take Broder off and bring on John Gerrard. He's become the super sub off the bench. Hopefully he can nick a goal today. And then Rowan McDonald's going to come on. He'll replace Darren Mapley, going on in that deep line playmaker role on the defensive duty he's comfortable with. No outing for Richard Quirk today, but he'll probably start in 2 days' time. Let's get back into it and see if we can find an equaliser. Less than 10 minutes to go. We've got an attacking throw on the right. Nico Williams to Gerrard. McDonald gets there second. He doesn't get a good shot in though, it's blocked. Nico Williams back to McDonald again. 2 men on the edge, one of them's Desar. He scored a cracker in our last game on camera, but goes for a short pass this time. Adam Lewis on the left. Assist galore last year, but that cross is poor and is cleared away at the front post. We're going to go attacking for the last 7 minutes, but I don't know if it's going to be enough as we haven't looked threatening all day. We're back with Ricky Ash in the middle of the pitch. He finds Nico Williams on the right. Take the man on, he doesn't. It's a terrible bit of play, and he's tackled easily, but they put it behind for a corner. That's one of the weirdest back passes I've ever seen. He actually curled it as if he was taking one, and the cross is into the front post, but it's another poor corner and headed away. Our delivery's been really poor in recent weeks, and unfortunately it's going to cost us today. We're into the last minute with just 3 minutes of stoppage time added on. It's a long goal kick by Bristol City, and I'd probably consider a point a really good result if we could nick it now. Nix is coming down the right though, and Reece Williams has been intercepted. It's a long ball forward from Bass. Doesn't find anyone though, as we don't have the target man on now. We've got a warning to close down Coulson. 90 minutes is a little bit late to realise his threat. Nix with the ball on the right. Brilliant tackle, Adam Lewis. And can we create just one more chance? Reece Williams finds Ricky Ash. He's coming forward, goes long over the top, and Bobby Duncan's going to get there. Gerrard's in the middle if he can find him. He does! Oh, it's a save by Evans to his left. He was nearly the hero again, John Gerrard. Brilliant work out wide by Duncan, but we just couldn't find a finish, and unfortunately Bristol City will hang on. It's Roberts coming forward on the left. Just 40 seconds left. He finds Madger. Back to Payne, the goal scorer. He finds Brownhill, and that stupid tackle by Nico Williams is unfortunately going to cost us the game. It's cleared away, but back to the right back, and now Bristol City can build again. They're keeping possession. They know we can't harm them if they've got it, and Brownhill finds Clark. He's been absolutely brilliant today. Nick's on the right hand side. McDonald intercepts. Ash has found Duncan. Duncan charging down the left. The 3 minutes are up. Can he get one more cross in? He can't. It's a good tackle by the centre half, and it is the full-time whistle. Bristol City nicked the 3 points, and in truth they probably deserved it. It really wasn't the best performance. We're going to tell the lads we've disappointed. A sip of drinks made the voice come back, so hopefully you'll be able to understand me again now. We've got a tough game away to Hull in 2 days' time. A lot of these lads won't be fit, despite the day's training rest in between. So it looks like our slide started early after a really good start to the season. I guess that's the problem when we're up there early doors, is you always expect to try and hang on. But realistically, with the squad we had this season, we said at the start we just had to finish mid-table, and if we can get into the top half and beat last year's 13th place finish, then we've really done a good job. I've got to start to temper expectations. It's our last year before the stadium move. We probably won't be able to afford much in January, and we may even lose 1 or 2 as well. But once we move into that new ground, we can stop being a selling club. We'll be able to compete with our peers in the Championship. That's on a financial ground as well. And hopefully then we can really take it 2 teams on the pitch. Our youngsters will be continuing their development and getting significantly closer to their potential star rating. And that, with a couple more signings, will hopefully see us to the Premier League. Bristol City grabbed a deserved win. We said they probably just edged the game. We'll deal with the press conference off camera in a minute. And Parnaby's right, they did outperform. inform us. That sees us out of the top 2, and now there's just a 5-point gap going down to 9th place. Mill will take that position as Bristol City move up with that victory. I guess the one positive is the 10-point gap back to 10th place. That's a little bit wider than last year, and hopefully that means we can secure a top half finish, and if we finish in 9th place, it's still a very good season. There's nearly 20 points back to the relegation zone. We're almost safe from that already, and we couldn't have asked for much more at this midway stage of the season. Let's go and have a look at the schedule then. We've got to think around the January transfer window and games that may be important to us. We've got a relatively busy early stage in January, obviously depending on whether we get through in the FA Cup. That game at the end of the month could be replaced by a brilliant 4th round tie. If that's the case, then we'll come back for that, but we're not really focused on the Cups until we've got a bigger squad in our new stadium. So I'm looking towards the start of February. Our first 2 games are Nottingham Forest and QPR, so let's see where they are in the league. Forest are down in 16th place, QPR 21st. The game before that's West Ham, but I think they're still down in mid-table. They're not, they're up in 7th place. So we haunted the Hammers 2 episodes ago, and we're going to have another go at it at the end of January. We'll be back on the 30th of that month for that game. If we're through in the FA Cup, that plan may change, of course. We'll also put a bit of focus on the January transfer window in that episode, showing you some action from deadline day, which is obviously just a day or 2 after that game. Then we'll do our usual for the rest of the season. We'll pop back once in March around the youth intake date, and then again towards the end of the season as we look to try and hang on in the playoff places, but I think this month has proven that we've not quite got the squad to compete. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on the video as always. I really do appreciate it. It helps the video get seen by more people and pushes it up the YouTube algorithm. As we're starting to compete with the bigger teams, I'm really enjoying this series more than ever before, and I hope you guys are enjoying watching it too, despite my croaky voice at times in the last week. Let me know down in the comments where you think we need to strengthen in January. Obviously I've seen centre-half's a big problem, and we've dealt with that as well. Perhaps a central midfielder, but I'm not quite sure. Do we need to think about changing formations and going for wide men rather than a number 10? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and we'll see if the players available in the scouting reports or suggested by our director of football enable us to fulfil any of your ideas. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one with Torquay United, and then our other journeyman series, The Head Coach, where we work under a director of football with no say in transfers or contracts. The last couple of episodes in that series at the start of season 9 have been some of the most important in that career yet, so if you haven't seen that one yet, then pop over and check it out. And also keep an eye on the channels on Fridays over the next couple of months. We've got some brand new content coming from a couple of new sports games that I'm really looking forward to trying. As we said at the start of the year, most of my content is always going to be Football Manager, as I spend 90% of my gaming time playing it, but there's a few other games that really excite me, and 2 of them are coming out this spring. So if you are a fan of other sports games, then do pop along and check those out on Fridays. They'll be filling that content gap during the spring and summer months. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series as always. I really appreciate you still watching at this stage of the career. We're well into it now, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And we'll see you next time for another big game and some January transfer chaos.